Alright, I got a Synchro in. This is a 3/4 Synchro, and you can see it has this inner cone, and then it has this bronze friction ring, and then I think this is the Synchro ring. Those are the three parts of a Synchro. So this is the part number of the Synchro. So I did some research, and you know, I took a chance, and what I did was, what if I don't use this and I use a carbon Synchro? So I bought a carbon Synchro instead of the bronze. And when I talk to the company, they say that the carbon has a little more friction, which slows the gears down a little better. Well, wouldn't that be advantageous for us? Let me see if I can turn this. Well, I guess this doesn't do macro, but you can see, or not, that's what the carbon of the ring, and that carbon is on the inside and the outside of the ring. So I figure, what the hell, I'm gonna do carbon. There's only a catch to it. This is a $40 ring. I can't find the Synchros come from Mercedes. Mercedes don't make carbon, so you're going to get a bronze Synchro, and then you have to buy this, and then you replace it out. My problem is they make an entire kit with everything and bearings, but since I had already bought a bunch of the parts, I'm stuck a la carte in the last few parts I need, and I don't know if I'm going to cost any more, but I'm certainly not going to save any money. So there you have it. We are going to try to go back together with carbon Synchros and see if there's any difference, I guess. I mean, I have no idea. So stay tuned. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put our new bearing on. I don't know if you can see the bearing number, but that's the number. I can't tell if it's focusing. There you go. So this is the first bearing, and it goes on. Right there. What I'm doing is I kind of put a little dab of a thicker gear oil on here, just for a little bit of lubricant. I don't think you want to put anything together dry. Not a fan of that. So we got a little bit of good sticky lube. Next thing we're going to do is put our gear on. What I'm doing is I'm wiping everything off, dust, and I'm inspecting. I've already pretty much inspected everything, but we're going to put this on. Wow. There it goes. Beautiful. Got to play with it a little. I don't know if these are bad. To be honest, the gears spun just fine. I'm going to keep all this stuff for spares, but I honestly don't know if you need to buy all that. But for what it cost, while I'm in here, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Beautiful. All right, so give me a second. I'm going to assemble this Synchro, and you got the Synchro hub, you got the slider, and I have a brand new 3/4 slider. So I have a brand new 3/4 slider. I have to assemble this with all the Synchros, and you got the springs and the balls and the tabs. Let me play with it for a minute. I don't know if I can capture all that because I'm gonna have like 4 hands going at the same time. But let me play with it for a second, and if I think I'm to a point where I can show you, I'll come back to the camera. Okay, bye. By the way, it don't rain in Arizona. What the hell is going on? Holy crap. We need this like you can't believe. All right, I just thought I'd share. Wow. Okay, so here you can see I'm putting on a Synchro, and once you do that, then you're going to press your hub on. Now, what you got to know is this hub is symmetrical, but it only goes on one way. There's a big indent in this hub. You can see that shiny indent. That shiny indent has to go towards the gear. I put mine on backwards and it didn't work. Okay, here's where I'm trying to figure out why the hub didn't go down all the way. And as I look at it and play with it for a second, I finally figure out that I didn't have the Synchro indexed exactly right. So I rotate the Synchro a little bit, and then the tabs line up with the hole, and then once they line up with the hole right there, then you can see it loosens up. Now what you want to do is hold that Synchro up like that. You'll keep it indexed, and then you're gonna tap that center hub down. Now notice on the top of that center hub you got that shiny ring close in on the center. See that real shiny ring? The shiny ring has to go down towards the gear, that first gear that you slide on. If you don't, it won't go down far enough. So here I'm going to tap this down. It's going to go all the way on. And it sounds like it's a lot. You can see my whole table jump. It's not transferring a lot of pressure when I'm tapping. And it goes down more, then you don't have to hold that Synchro anymore. But you're going to see I exposed that snap ring channel, which is you want to go down far enough, nothing's bound up, and then the snap ring is not going to fit because that shiny has to it has to go against that gear. I mean, it's just the tolerance is just that tight. So you're gonna see me in a little bit smack this thing apart. Here we go. It doesn't fit. And I'm like, what the heck? So I pull it back apart. And of course frustrated. And I'm like, what the heck? It won't go on. So now I'm thinking the slider hub might not be symmetrical. I'm pretty sure it is. But that little bit of indentation against the gear allowed that thing to slide on just a tad bit more. So here, my tool don't fit. So I'm going to tap it off. Now, don't think it looks bad. These are really light hits and the table's bouncing. This is not a lot of pressure. It comes right off. But I'm going to save you a headache. Then make sure that that shiny worn in part on the center aluminum hub is against the gear. And that's going to save you a whole bunch of headache. So pull that off. See me look at it. I flip it over. See, that's not the shiny side the way I have it indexed in my hand. I slip it back on. I check, I look at the shiny again, I make sure shiny side down, slide it on, line it up on a spline, and it just taps back in. See, now I lift the Synchros up to index them. I hold them indexed on the hub so I don't run into the same issue I had the first time, and I just tap it back on. I could have used the press, but when everything's lined up, it goes right on. I'm just trying to center it. Like I said, the dead blow, that's not as much pressure as what you may sound like. Then I'm going to index the Synchro. Hold them up and finish tapping on. If my table wasn't bouncing with the hammer, this would go right on. But my table's bouncing, and that doesn't help me out any. And we're on. Now, if you look close, you can see I have more snap ring gap. And that snap ring is going to go right on. And the snap ring goes right in. Everything is free. It turns. And there you go. Okay, once you get that first Synchro on, put your slider hub on and slide it all the way down. You see that spot of green grease? What I did was I put a little grease on the tip of the spring, and then I slid my spring into the hole. After you slide your spring into the hole, take the piece of metal that has the round hole that the ball fits in and put some grease and put the ball into the metal tab. Then use a flat bladed screwdriver to push the spring in and slide the tab with the ball already in it in, and then pull your screwdriver out and you're good to go. Okay, so after you get your 6 tabs, your 3 springs, and your 3 balls in place, put your other Synchro pack on the top, and then
the slider can now slide up and engage one synchro, slide down, engage other, and you'll feel the balls hit the detents, and you're good. So right here, what we're doing is we're adding the next bearing. I gotta find the right one. So here's the bearing. I don't think I needed to change these, but they were cheap, and well, they're not cheap, but 20 bucks, 18, 13 bucks, whatever. It was hard for me not to. Okay, so after putting that blue bearing on, all you do is slide third gear onto the shaft, and then you're going to press sixth gear on the shaft, and you're going to press fifth gear onto the shaft. Remember, I bought a new fifth gear that's going to mesh with my brand new input shaft. And then that is the basic build of the shaft. I mean, I wish I had a bearing heater. Those inductive bearing heaters would have been pretty cool. But I don't, so I just cold pressed, and my little Harbor Freight did not have an issue. Now notice, I put the snap ring on the end of the shaft. You just barely caught a glimpse of that snap ring. That snap ring does not go on until the shaft is inserted. I just wanted to test clearance and make sure the snap ring would fit, so I immediately took it back off.
Doesn't turn. Remember, this is my new one. It doesn't turn, it's pressed. 6 doesn't turn, it's pressed. 4th or 3rd turns. This is 3rd or 4th. Turns just fine. Of course, this down here doesn't turn because it's on the shaft. Perfect turn, perfect turn. Bam. Bam. Index perfect. Bam. Back, index in the center, perfect. I got blocker. I should have all my ring packs are all done the same. And man, she's popped in good. I think the counter shaft is done, but please, 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 if you think I missed something, let me know. Hell, I don't know. Are the carbon rings a bad idea? I don't know. I'm going to end up with some brand new ones of these, bronze ones. So I'm going to have some new ones of those. The old ones didn't look bad. What can't I find? I can't find the blocker rings. So a couple of them had a few teeth that were a little rounded, but not bad. But the blocker ring, which is this one right here, you can't find it. They don't make it anymore. And it gives you 2 different part numbers. And there's a 4 tab and a 6 tab. Mine are all 6 tabs. And both of my blocker rings are identical. I mean, I spent like 10 minutes checking them out because I was going to order them and the part numbers were different. I can see 0 difference. What I saw, one showed a 4 tab, one showed a 6 tab. Both of my blockers are both 6 tab. No idea. Unless they went back because this trainee had issues in the early days and they gave him an updated one. I don't know. All right. That's going to be it for this weekend. Next weekend, we will start the tear down of the main shaft. And it's going to be a few weeks before I can source all the parts because I know I'm going to need a brand new reverse, a brand new first, and probably a brand new second. And then I'm going to have to get first, second synchros. Now, my 4th gear was perfect. Here's what I did. I bought one new synchro. I put that on 3rd gear because 4th gear shifted perfect. So all 4th gear got was a new carbon friction disc. I didn't buy the new synchro for 4th. I think when you get 4th, 5th, and 6th, the gears are spinning fast enough where they engage easier. So I did not So I got new Synchro third. I'm doing new Synchro first, second, third. And then fourth got new friction. And then fifth and sixth in reverse just get frictions. I think that's how we're doing it. Leave any comments, man. Shoot me an email. Tell me what I screwed up because I still got time. It'll suck, but you saved my life. I just don't have a lot of money to do one of these now. I'm just all in. So you see anything I did wrong, comment. The grease on these things, on the sliders and the ball detents, whoa, that worked perfect. It held the springs in place and it held the balls in place. After the balls and the springs flopping around and falling out and using the magnet and shaking it upside down, I'm like all over it. I'm just done. So the grease worked good, and it'll dissolve out when this thing warms up and gets spinning. All right, fellas, be well. Have a good weekend. Bye. Oh, all right, look at, just gotta show you this. I'm sweating my ass off. It's been raining in Arizona, and holy crap, man, the humidity's got to be 40%, and I'm dying. I don't know how the hell you do it, Florida. No, I'm dying. I'm just dying right now. Later.